in your bio, it talks about the gut microbiome as being the master conductor of our bodily systems. So it's not the brain?
So, our brain definitely has a role, right? Our brain has a role. But the gut is kind of pulling the puppet strings, right? So we know that most of the neurochemicals that we're looking for in the brain are produced in the gut. But the story gets far more complex than that, and the complexity is only just being understood. So here's the thing. In terms of cells, we are roughly 10% human, right? So 90% of the cells in our body are microbial, viruses, protozoa, archaea, bacteria, right? All sorts of single cell organisms. But in terms of genetic material, we are maybe at most 1% human. So what that means is that so much of the processes and the systems in our body that control our hormones, our immune system, our neurotransmitters are controlled by our microbes and the genes that encode them. So these microbes have like a 15-minute lifespan. So talking about one microbe is a bit irrelevant, but talking about their genetic material is really relevant because that's what we're talking about. And those genes encode so many of the kind of precursors to molecules that we use all over our entire body, right? Like little things like the iodine that our thyroid needs, coded by microbes, right? Oh, but that's like one of like thousands of examples. It's almost wild. So our brain has a role, but especially the more emotional part of our brain, right? When we talk about our limbic system and how we feel, our resilience, how we handle stress, how we perceive our world, is very much controlled by the compounds that our microbes produce and what they help turn off, right? So we have this huge stress response, our fight or flight response, and that's mediated by serotonin and GABA and other molecules that our gut is producing, right? So if we get our gut here, we produce more of the chemicals that are going to turn off this constant churn of epinephrine and cortisol and all these molecules that in the short term can be great for us, right? They're going to help us push a car out of the way of our child, right? Or take an exam and be sharp and razor focused. But they're also, that constant churn will eventually kill us.